Here on the channel, we have a little mascot named Muffin. Watch my Legends Arceus playthrough for the origins of the name. Before I changed my channel logo to something more generic so I can play games other than Pokemon, this is what it used to be. Just look at those little eyes and teeth, by far the cutest and best of all the Pokemon out there. So, I set out to prove it. We are going to definitively prove, once and for all, that Muffin is the greatest Pokemon to ever exist. How? By beating the entirety of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond using only Muffin. But before we even begin, we have a couple problems that need to be addressed. 1. Pokemon ZA comes out soon, and as soon as it does, every other game I'm playing here on the channel is going to be put on pause. Other Pokemon playthroughs and other games alike are going to be delayed for that. 2. Typing. Bidoof is a normal type, meaning it's weak to fighting type attacks. Also, in return for that, it gets stab bonus into nothing super effective at all. Number 3. I'm bad at Pokemon and had to use an online chart for point 2 because I don't even know the typing matchups. I just think they're cute and I like the games mostly for that. With all that in mind, let's begin our journey to prove that Muffin is, without a doubt, the best Pokemon to ever exist and that she's better than anyone else. One last disclaimer before we begin. Due to a series of technical difficulties, the first half hour or so of footage is unusable. Luckily, it's working fine from the moment we taught a Bidoof on, so everything worked out, I guess? The first objective was to catch Muffin Jr. We did this before anything else to make sure this was a Bidoof only run. Look how perfectly the Pokédex describes Muffin. If we waited any longer, then the early trainers might not know how amazing Muffin is. Speaking of the early trainers, we immediately ran into a pretty big problem. Our Muffin was only level 3, and his Starly was level 5. Also, we didn't heal Muffin first, so it was going in at half health. Not only did I go into battle with only half a Muffin, but I still had the mandatory starter on me, and I wasn't allowed to use it, so I was forced to just sit there and growl until the Starly slowly whittled down my health. To make sure we wouldn't have to do that again, we immediately put our starter away into the PC. This way we only had Muffin on us. Then, the level grind began. We caught Muffin's whole family while I was flipping back and forth on whether using other Bidoofs would be allowed in this run, eventually settling on no. I'd rather lose over and over than admit another Bidoof is equal to Muffin, while eliminating every wild Pokemon we could find to try to get some levels. While admittedly the majority of the time was spent on fixing tech problems, this felt so slow as I was playing for an hour at this point and finally ready to attempt the first trainer in the game. This time it went a lot better. While far from a perfect run, we didn't get knocked out in a single hit, and we eventually won. The rest of the trainers along this route were essentially the same, beating them one by one, teaching them that Muffin is better than their Starly, Shanks, and even other Bidoofs. Eventually, we get to Jubilife City. Here, we learn that Dawn also doesn't realize just how powerful Muffin is when she says she thinks we need some more Pokemon. Then, we make our way to the school, where we prove that point by beating up a bunch of young children and teaching them a valuable lesson. No matter how many Abra you have, they'll never beat Muffin. After that, we explore around a bit, meeting a couple clowns, a guy who thinks he can fish up Bidoofs, and this generous person who decides to just simply hand over a Twitclaw as a tribute to our amazing Pokemon. Then we ran into the next major obstacle along our journey to prove the might of Muffin, Sebastian. This guy is the trainer I've been dreading from the start, but assumed it wouldn't be until much later. You see, the problem with this little kid here is that he has a Machop. This is the first fighting type we've had to come across, and if you remember from the start, or just know Pokemon type matchups, That's going to be super effective against Muffin. The only strategy I could think of off the top of my head was to use rollout, not miss, and have him not attack back until the super-powered rolling Muffin could take him out. So anyway, that's what we did, because Muffin is amazing. Then we got to the cave. This was a nightmare. Muffin has no moves that are effective against Geodude, and I couldn't do anything except very slowly take them out, one tiny hit at a time. It was brutally slow, but, of course, Muffin eventually prevailed and we got to Orbird City, the first city to have a gym badge and where our adventure really begins. You may be piecing together where the next problem is. We had nothing good for the Geodudes in the cave, so of course now that we're going to the gym that's focused on rock types, we have no answers to the gym either. I even taught Muffin Rock Smash, figuring it would be good at smashing rocks, but unfortunately, we couldn't get past the first gym trainer. This is where we stopped for the night while I tried to figure out a plan. Do I just overlevel Muffin? Give in and use other Bidoofs? What's the plan for the first gym in the game? Thank you for watching and remember to subscribe. Also join me at 7 PM EST Friday nights where I'll be continuing this series trying to make the whole Pokemon world know how wonderful Muffin is.